Hello everyone. Welcome to another lecture on reasoning ability and problem solving. In today's lecture, we will discuss some practice questions from logical reasoning. Now, before we start, there is some information that you need to know. We have already discussed that you should know the difference between odd numbers and even numbers. You should know what are prime numbers. You should remember prime numbers from at least between 1 to 100. Between 1 to 100, there are 25 prime numbers. Then you should know the squares of at least 1 to 30. This is the minimum. If you know more than this, that is good. And you should know the cubes of at least 1 to 20. This much information should be retained by you, should be memorized by you in order to solve questions like these. So let us look at question number 1. In question number 1, we basically have 4 options, and out of these 4 options, one is different, which is the odd one out. Different in the sense that every option follows some pattern, but that one option does not follow the same pattern. So it is odd one out, it is different. We have to identify that option. That will be the correct option to this question. Now let us look at option number 1. So option number 1, we have 7 is to 147. Now, if you remember the square of 7, 7 square is 49. And if I multiply 49 by 3, I'll get how much? This will be 27, 2 will be carried, 4 into 3, 12, plus 2, 14. So I'll get 147. Similarly, if I look over here, 12 and 432. So if I look at 12 square is 144. And if I multiply it by 3, 4 into 3 is 12. So 1 will be carried. 4 into 3 again is 12 plus 1, 13. 1 will be carried. And 3 into 1 is 3 plus 1, 4. So this again 144 into 3 gives me 432. Correct? Now let us look at option number 4. So in option number 4, 8 square is how much? 64. 8 square is 64. And if I multiply it by 3, I'll get 4 into 3, 12. 1 will be carried. 6 into 3, 18 plus 1, 19. So I'll get 192. So this also follows the same logic. Let's say if this is A and this is B, what is happening? Basically, we are squaring A and we are multiplying it by 3 to get B. Correct? This is the logic that is being followed in option number 1, 3 and 4. Now let us check for option number 2. So in option number 2, 13 square is how much? 169. Correct? So you should remember the squares. 169, and if we multiply it by 3, how much will I get? 9 into 3 gives me 27. So 2 will be carried. 6 into 3 will give me 18 plus 2, 20. So 2 will be carried. And 3 into 1 will give me 3 plus 2, 5. So I'll get 507. But over here we have 506. So this does not follow the same logic. That is, A square into 3 gives us B. This does not follow the same logic. Hence, option 2 will be the correct answer. Correct? So you see how I solved? Basically, we found the logic that was followed by 3 options. And one option that did not follow the same logic was our answer. Okay? Now, question number 2. So again, 4 options are given to us and one of the option is different that we have to find out. So if I look over here, 12 and 156, I can see 156 is very close to 12 square. Correct? Similarly, if I look over here, 342, it is very close to 18 square. So let me try a logic for option number 1. So if I see 12 square is how much? 144. And what is the difference between 156 and 144? If I add 12, I'll get 6, 5 and 1. So 12 square equals to 144 plus 12 is, 12 square equals to 144. And if I add 12 into it, I get 156, correct? This is the logic. So if this is A, this is B, I am saying that if I am squaring A and I am adding A into it, I am getting B. This is the logic I can identify from option number 1. Now let us check for option number 2. 14 square plus 14. So 14 square will be 196. And if I add 14 into this, this will be 10, then 10 and 11 and 2. So 210. So 14 square plus 14 is 210, which is correct for option number 2 as well. This is the same logic, this one. Okay. Now let us check for option number 4. Option number 4, I'll do 18 square plus 18. 18 square is how much? 324. And if I add 18, this will be 12, this will be 4, and this will be 3. So this will be 342. So this logic is correct for option number 4 as well. Now let us see if option number 3, what logic is being followed. So it will be 17 square plus 17. Let me rewrite this. So 12 square plus 12 will be 144 plus 12, which will be equal to 156. Okay, so same thing, A square plus A equals to B is followed in option number 1, 3 and 4. Now let us look at option number 3. So it will be 17 square plus 17. What is 17 square? 289. And if I add 17, here I'll get 6, correct? 1 will be carried. 8 plus 1, 9 plus 1, 10. 1 will be carried, 3. So I'll get 306. And over here we have 307. So option number 3 does not follow the same logic. It is different. Therefore, our correct answer will be option number 3. Clear? Now, question number 3. Again, 4 options are given to us and we have to identify which of them does not follow the same logic as others. So if I look at option number 2, let's say. So here I can see that if I multiply this, this is almost 8 times. So let's say if this is 30 and this is 180, this is around 6 times, correct? But this number is smaller than 30 and this number is bigger than 180. So I can see this is probably 7 times. So if I multiply 27 by 7, how much I'll get? 7 into 7 is 49. 4 will be carried. 7 into 2 is 14. 14 plus 4, 18. I'll get 189. So I have to subtract 8 to get 181. Okay. Now let us look over here. If this is 20 and this is 140, this will be around 7 times, correct? So let us see. Over here also I can see 21 into 7 will be how much? This will be 147. And if I subtract 8 from it, I'll get 139. So what is the logic? If this is A, this is B. A into 7 minus 8 is giving me B. This is the logic. A into 7 minus 8 is giving me B. This is true for option number 2 and this is true for option number 4 as well. So now let us look at option number 3. Over here, if this is 25, 7 times. So 25 into 7. Here I'll get 35. So 5 and 3 will be carried. 7 into 2, 14. 14 plus 3, 17. So 175. And I have to subtract 8 from it. If I subtract 8 from it, I'll get 167. So this is correct for option number 3 as well. Right? Now let us check for option number 1. For option number 1, if I do 15 into 7, this will be how much? 15 into 7 is 105. Correct? Now, if I subtract 8 from it, I'll get how much? I'll get 97. But here we have 197 and here we have 97. So option number 1 is the option which does not follow the same logic. Hence our answer will be option number 1. Clear? Now let us look at question number 4. So again 4 options are given to us and we have to find out which of these is the odd one out. Okay. So option number 4, if I see 169 and 55, 289 and 70, 256 and 61 and 324 and 64. So if I look over here, 169, If I do under root of 169, that will give me 13. If I do under root of 256, that will give me 16. If I do the under root of 324, I'll get 18. And if I do the under root of 289, I'll get how much? I'll get 17. So now I can see the relationship between 13 and 55, 16 and 61, 17 and 70, and 18 and 64. So basically, if I multiply 13 by 3, I'll get 39. Okay. And if I add, let's say 1 plus 6 plus 9 into it. If I add these digits, okay, 1 plus 6 plus 9, I'll get how much? 39, 40. 40 plus 15, I'll get 55. Okay. Now let us see over here. So this was 17, correct? If I multiply it by 3, how much I'll get? This will be 21, 3 into 1, 51. Now if I add 2 plus 8 plus 9 into this. So 51 plus 2, 53. 53 plus 17. This is 70. So I'll get 70. Okay. Now let us look at option number 3. If I multiply 16 by 3, I'll get 6 3s are 18. 1 carried, 3 into 3 plus 1, 48. So 16 into 3 will be 48. And if I add 2 plus 5 plus 6 into this. Okay. So this will be 50 and 50 plus 11 will be 61. So this is true for option number 1, 2 and 3. So what is the logic? Basically, if this is A and this is B, I am doing under root of A. I am multiplying it by 3 and then I am adding the digits of A. Okay. To get B. This is the logic that I have used in 1, 2 and 3. Correct? So I have found the square root of A and then I have multiplied it by 3 and then I have added the digits of A and that gave me B. Now let us check if it is true for over here also. So 18 into 3. 18 into 3 will be 8 into 3. 18 into 3 will be how much? 54. And if I add 3 plus 2 plus 4 into this. So if I add this, 4 plus 2 is how much? 6. 6 plus 3 is 9 and 54 plus 9 will be 63 and not 64. So therefore option number 4 is the different one. It is the odd one out because it does not follow the same logic as option number 1, 2 and 3. Is this clear? This was a tricky question. This was a long question. Okay. So basically first number was under root. We found the under root of the first number, then we multiplied it by 3, then we added all the digits that were in the first number and then we got B. So this logic was followed in option number 1, 2 and 3 but not in 4. Therefore option number 4 is the odd one out. Clear? Now let us look at question number 5. So question number 5, big numbers are there. So probably let me start by finding their difference. So if I find their difference of 14327 and 2003. If I find the difference, this will be 423 and 2. This is 2324. If I find the difference between 2347 and 1113. So this will be 4, this will be 3, this will be 2 and this will be 1. Correct? If I find the difference between 3527 and 2293. So if I find this difference, this will be 4. This will become 4 and 1 will be carried over here. Correct? So here I'll get 4, here I'll get 2, here I'll get 1. So here I'll get 3 and here I'll get 2 and 1. So the difference is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now if I find the difference between 5237 and 4003, if I find the difference, this will be 4321. So I can see in option number 2, in option number 3 and in option number 4, the difference is same, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. But in option number 1, we have a different difference. So option number 1 is the odd one out. It is the different from all the 4 options. Clear? Now, question number 6. So question number 6 again, 4 options are given to us and we have to find out the odd one out. Now, if I look at option number 1, 461 is actually very close to a perfect square called 441. Similarly, 239 I can see is very close to a perfect square 225. 305 is close to 289 and 182 I can see is slightly close to 169, but I am not sure. Okay, because this is the square of 13 and the next number we have 196. So it is somewhere in between. So let us see. Okay. Now, if I look at option number 1, if I add 1 in 20, so I am adding 1 in 20 and I am squaring it. And then I'll get 21 square. 21 square is 441. And if I add 20 into it again, I'll get 461. Correct? So what was the logic if this was A and this was B? Basically, I did A plus 1 square plus A to get B. Correct? This was the logic. A plus 1 square plus A to get B. Correct? Now let us look at option number 2. So 14 plus 1 square plus 14 I'll do. So 14 plus 1 square means 15 square. 15 square is how much? 15 square is 225. And if I add 14 into it again, I'll get 9, 3 and 2. So I'll get 239. So this logic is true for option number 2 as well. So this logic of A and A plus 1 square plus A equals to B is correct for option number 1 and it is correct for option number 2 as well. Now let us look at option number 3. So option number 3 will be 16 plus 1 square. 16 plus 1 square is 17 square. So 17 square is how much? 289. Correct? Now if I add 16 into this, so this will be 5, 1 will be carried, 8 plus 1, 9 plus 1, 10, 1 will be carried, 3. So I'll get 305. Correct? So this logic is true for option number 3 as well. Now let us check for option number 4. So option number 4, again 12 plus 1 square means 13 square. 13 square is 169. And if I add 12 into it, I'll get, this will be 1, 1 carried, 6 plus 1, 7 plus 1, 8 and 1. So I will get 8, 181 and not 182. So option number 4 is the different one because it does not follow this logic of A plus 1 square plus A gives us B. It is a different logic. Therefore, option number 4 is the odd one out. Clear? Now let us come to next question, question number 7. So in question number 7, we have 25 and 89, 61 and 97, 56 and 136, and 78 and 127. So let me find the difference between these numbers because these numbers are comparatively equal, right? So if I subtract 89 and 25, I'll get 64. Okay. Similarly, if I subtract 97 and 61, I'll get 6 and over here I'll get 36. If I subtract 136 and 56, I'll get how much? This will be 0 and this will be 80, correct? And over here, if I subtract 127 and 78, so this will become 11, this will become 17, this will become 9 and this will become 4. So it will be 49. Now all of these numbers are different. 64, 36, 49, 80, they are different. But if you look closely, three of them are similar in a way. If you look at number 64, 36 and 49. 64, 36 and 49, all these numbers are perfect squares. What do you mean by perfect squares? They are square of a number. This is basically 8 square. This is basically 6 square and this is basically 7 square. only 80 is a number that is not a perfect square. Hence, the difference of this number is different. Therefore, option number 3 is the odd one out. Clear? Option number 3 will be the odd one out. Now let us look at question number 8. Question number 8 is given to us these. Okay. So we have to find the one that is odd one out. Now let me try the summing the digits together. So if I look at this option, 3 plus 2. So I am basically adding the digits. And here also I am adding the digits. I am doing this for each and every option. So if I add the digits, I am adding the digits. Okay. So 3 plus 2, 5. 5 plus 4, 9. 9 plus 3, 12. 12 plus 3, 15. And 15 plus 5 is 20. Similarly, over here, 7 plus 7 is 14. And this 14 plus 5 is 19. Okay. Now let us look at option number 2. In option number 2, 4 plus 0 is 4. 4 plus 6 is 10. 10 plus 3 plus 2 is 15. And 15 plus 1 is 16. Now if I look over here, this is 9 plus 4, that is 13. And 13 plus 3 will be 16. You have to be fast with your mental calculations when it comes to competitive exams. Because I am writing things, okay? I can do like this. 4 plus 0 plus 6 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 will give me 16. But you can't do this in your competitive exams. Most of the questions you have to solve orally. You don't have to use pen and paper. So by practicing, you will build such speed that you could do these calculations orally and mentally. So you should practice as many questions as you can, because once you get this into your habit, it will be helpful for your competitive exams. Okay. Now let us look at option number 3. So option number 3, I can see 1 plus 1 plus 1. That means 3. 3 plus 6, 9. 9 plus 1, 10. And 10 plus 7 is 17. Over here, if I look 7 plus 2 is 9. And 9 plus 8 is again 17. So over here the sum was same. Over here the sum was same. Only in option number 1 the sum is different. Now let us check for option number 4. So 2 plus 5 is 7. 7 plus 3 is 10. 10 plus 4 is 14. 14 plus 1 is 15. And 15 plus 7 is 22. If I look over here, 7 plus 7 is 14. And 14 plus 8 is 22 again. So over here also the sum is the same. Only in option number 1, the sum is not the same. Therefore, option number 1 will be the odd one out in this particular question. Okay. So whenever you get questions like odd one out, you can have more than one logic. But in your competitive exams, if a question has more than one logic, you will arrive at the same answer using different logics. This is true for your competitive exams. You will get the same answer using different logics. But in case you get different answers, you use two different logics, both are correct, and you get two different answers. In that case, you have to mark data inadequate or insufficient as your answer. So if one correct, okay, using multiple logics, that means same answer using different logics. If more than one is correct, in your competitive exams, you will also always see option saying that data is inadequate or insufficient. Then you have to mark this as your answer. Clear? Now let us move on to question number 9. So question number 9, again 4 options are given to us and we have to identify the one that is different. So if you know squares, you can see that this is very close to 625. 625 is basically the square of 25. So I can see that if I do 25 square plus 6, I'll get how much? This will be 625, and if I add 6 into it, I'll get 631, right? If I look at option number 2, 21 square plus 6. So 21 square is 441, and if I add 6 into this, I'll get 447. Similarly, let us try for option number 3, 30 square plus 6. So 30 square plus 6 basically means 900 plus 6, which is 906. So this is different. Now let us look at option number 4. It will be 22 square plus 6. 22 square is 484. And if I add 6 into this, I'll get 490. So the logic, if this is A and this is B, if I add A square and 6 together, I am getting B. This is the logic. This logic is correct for option number 1, 2 and 4. But this is not correct for option number 3 because these are different. Therefore, our answer will be option number 3. Clear? Now let us look at this question. We have 4 options: 239, 78, 327, 326, 104, 308, 101 and 197 and 66, and we have to identify which of these is the odd one out. Now if I look over here, 100 and 300, this is sometimes related, like somewhere related to into 3. Similarly, if this was 160, this is 180, around this is related to 3. Here also they are somewhat related to 3, and here also if I 80 and 240, this is somewhat related to 3. So maybe we have to do into 3 to get the next number. So let me try. If I look at option number 1, if I multiply 78 by 3, how much I'll get? 8 into 3 is 24. 7 into 3, 21. 234. Correct? And if I add 5 into it, I'll get 239. Correct? Now let us look at option number 2. So 107 into 3. Here I'll get 2 and 3. So I'll get 321. So if I add 5, I'll get 326. Okay, so if this is, let's say A, this is B. Basically, if I multiply A by 3 and add 5 into it, I am getting B. This is true for option number 1 and option number 2. Now let us check for option number 3. So 101 into 3, this will be 303, and if I add 5 into it, I'll get 308. So this is true for option number 3 as well. Now let us look at option number 4. So option number 4, 66 into 3 will give me how much? 6 3s are 8, 198, correct? And if I add 5 into it, I'll get 203. I'll get 203 if I add 5 into 198. So here we have 197 and here we have 203. So these are different. Hence, option number 4 is the odd one out in this particular question. Clear? So this was the logic. This was being followed in option number 1, 2 and 3, but not in option number 4. So this concludes today's lecture. Thank you.